Hello, I'm Chris, welcome back to Gross Models. I'm going to be building the Jedi Starfighter. Right, it should be a very quick build. It's only one of these tiny kits, only one bag, so I'll just rip that open now, mind the noise. There we go. Right, what have we got? We have a lot of stickers on these. My intention is to use virtually none of these, although there are a couple of nice looking detail bits on here and the little Jedi symbol, so I might end up cutting some bits of these out and using those, but most of it I plan on masking and painting. Right, we have the normal stand, adverts and Japanese in there, don't know what that means. Right, that's that. In the actual kit itself we have 3 sprues. Looks like the hyperdrive ring, the main top I assume, the cockpit, the back and probably the base. Yeah, it's only a little piece missing from the base, so that's that. This will be the engine bits for the hyperdrive. And the middle piece, yeah, so the ship is literally those 3-4 pieces. This will be the main central piece for the hyperdrive. Those bits are probably just on the back inside there by the looks of it. Right, so yeah, nice easy kit. Let's have a look at the instructions. Anything else around the edge? Nothing special. It tells you what purple, dark purple, white, yellow. Right, the build instructions are put the 4 bits together. You can quite see that under there. There we go. Put the top and the bottom together, canopy on. So there's an R2 unit in there somewhere as well. Let's find that. Completely missed that. Ah, there we go. Yeah, just next to there. Nice little R2 head. Right, so yes, put that on together. Put those on, put those on, put those on, and then you're away. And it docks into it if you want it to, or not. Right, sticker sheet, yeah. As you see, most of it is covered by stickers which lose all the detail that they put on there, so that I'll certainly be painting. It's a white body by the looks of it. What does it say in here? Yeah, it says use wine red and purple and russet and purple for the dark purple. White with a small dose of violet and light gull grey. Yellow and violet. Right, I have just received a couple of new primers. I've got the UMP in grey and white and black, which I've had for a while. So I will be using, I don't know, normally I do white so the panel lines will come through, but I think I'll just go with grey on this and try this grey out. Then I can obviously spray the white over the top of it without too much trouble to get that back. Right, as obviously the build is very straightforward, I think I'll probably just build it all off camera and then worry about the painting. It's all going to be painted together. There's no point in painting any of it apart, but being a snap kit I'm not going to be gluing any of it together anyway. And the stand, which I've got a couple of anyway from the diorama. Right, I'll get it built as normal, say cutting off the sprue, sanding, snapping it together, and then let's see about the painting and priming and then painting. See you in a moment. Alright, that's it completed. As I say, the build literally took about 10 minutes. It's not difficult at all. The ring is separate. You've got the actual Starfighter there, which has lots of detail on panel lines, which are lovely, but as I say, would be covered up by the sticker, so I'm definitely not going to be using those. I use them as a colour guide, but yeah, and the hyperdrive engine again, lots of detail work on there, which would obviously be completely covered by big thick stickers. I don't understand why they don't get it out their way and put decent decals on some of their kits. I know they're cheap, but yeah. Right, so that's that. That's just built, not primed or anything yet, so I'll get that primed now in the 2 pieces, but and then start on the painting another day. See you in a moment. And that's it all primed in the grey. Might not look terribly grey under the light, but there you go. That does help to bring out some of the details as well. I've taken one of the boosters off just to make it easier to hold, so I can paint it all, prime and paint it all in one. Right, I'm going to be going over all of it in white, and then actually, sorry, not quite all of it. I do need to do a little bit of masking, because I'm not going to bother painting the droid white. So there we go. Let's get the droid covered over. Actually, the droid goes all the way down to the base, so I do need to mask that more properly with a bit of tape. So I'll get the droid masked off, then spray everything white, and then the red, burgundy sort of panels on bits of it, which I'll use the box art and other reference points, pictures I can dig out to highlight the majority of the wings. Lots of bits around the hyperdrive ring as well, and the droid. Actually, the droid might have some white on it, so I'll leave that. I'll prime it, paint it all white, and then do the burgundy updates, and then the yellow little bits, and then the canopy in black. Black can go over everything. So start with the light colours, go darker. So I'll get everything done white, and then leave it to dry, and then I'll get the masking on for the first colour. Just doing a lighter coat to begin with, just to get the coverage, and then I'll make sure I go back in again and get everything. Right, I'll get the rest of this done, show you the update. Right, that's all the white paint done. Pretty happy with the way it came out. First time it was a bit blotchy still, so I went over and gave it another coat after it had dried. But that's everything done, the ring and the other end of the engine as well. Dropping bits. Right, so now we have the fun bit. Because these stickers are stickers, and they're thick and nasty and horrible, and all of these lovely little details and panel lines on there that they've put all the effort in and making, you'd then put a sticker over the top of it, you wouldn't be able to see a thing underneath. So I'm not going to use the stickers. I did consider using some of them, and I still might. The first one here is for the droid, which would add a nice bit of detail that's not going to be paintable, and I'm also planning on cutting out the logo for the bit on the panel there. So again, that's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to paint. So I'll be using bits of stickers, but not the entire things. The problem with using the bit of the droid is getting the colour to match up. The colour it says to use, if you're painting it, it's on the inside of the box here. I'll show you the English bit rather than the Japanese, and you can see both of it if you like. The purple body is 50% wine red and 50% purple, with a small dose of neutral grey. And the dark purple is 70% russet with 30% purple, and then a small dose of black. The white should have been white with a small dose of violet and light grey, but being that I primed it in grey, I'm happy with just leaving it as the white over the top. Yellow with a bit of violet for the yellow body, and burnt iron for the engine nozzle. But that's, again, yellow is yellow, and 2 different shades of, well, sort of violet-y purple, what they call it, purple they call it. So it's, yeah, mainly purple. Now, I do have a purple paint in, let me grab it, the Tamiya, but I wouldn't have said that that was even close to being purple. So I'm not going to be using that. I'm pretty sure you can't really mix Tamiya and Vallejo colours, they won't go very well. So the next best thing I was going to grab, if I can grab it, I had it there a minute ago. Right, I've got Hull Red in Tamiya, so I'm going to see, I don't know, what red did it say? It just said wine red, so that might be a bit brown. I'm going to mix up a few testing pots of different colours and see if I can get anything vaguely close to this. If not, then I'll be doing my own thing anyway. I'll be matching the painting patterns as closely as I can, although I say I'm not going for screen accurate or anything, so pretty much doing my own thing, but basing it on that, not worrying if a bit's 3mm off one side or the other. But anything I can do to get away without using the horrible stickers. So I'll be using the stickers as a guide for where I need it to be, and then obviously using them as a guide again for painting like the tiny white details and the yellow bits, and we'll see how it goes. Whether it works or not, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But first things first, I need to, well, mask it obviously, and then mix up some different colours and see what they look like on a test piece before I actually paint the thing. Now for masking, same as ever, Tamiya masking tape, getting some stuck down on the bench, using a knife, figuring out where I've got to put it, and sort of freehanding it. I'm going to be using the guide on the side, the sticker guide, because that gives you a nice clear top bottom view. So basically I've got to mask off the white bits and then paint on the purple. So I need a bit that comes basically down the middle and then widening out slightly as these go. Now looking at this, there's not really any panel lines to follow. Oh, maybe that edge piece, yeah. Okay, so I'll be going along, if I can show you on camera it's even easier. I'll come along this line, for instance, to here, and then follow this bit. So this whole side will be painted. So I need a strip that's that wide to cover the entire bit, and I'll widen it out at the ends. So that wide, I'm going to go narrower so I can do nice clean edges. I'm just going to cut all the way across there, and using a small pair of tweezers, that on, following that panel line, looks about right. I'm going to make sure these are on when I can put a visor on and actually get in closer. Obviously you can always put a bit more masking over the top. There is a bit on the back of the fin, just in here, that still needs to be purple. That's basically at the back, and obviously the canopy itself will be black, so that can go over purple just as easily as not, but I will be masking off. I just need to leave a bit across here. Sorry, I don't know if me putting the masking on was on camera or not now, so we'll have a look and see. That's actually not too bad, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to cut another piece from the other side, so I've got the straight edge that I know is a straight edge. That off there. I reckon I'll put that, I know it's going to be on camera. That's as close as you're going to get, I think. Right, I'll pick that up that way, so I need it around that way. Again, where's that panel line I'm going for? There it is. Go for there. All the way along there. Yeah, the droid is in the purple bit, and most of him is purple with white bits on the top, so I am actually, irrespective of what I said a moment ago about painting him white, I will be painting him purple. Right, so that's the stripe primed. I need to make sure it is down properly in the edges. I'll be using a cocktail stick for that, so I don't scratch in too much. Basically just making sure it's in along that line where I need it to be. So when I paint, it leaves that nice white edge along there. Right, so I need to get the other bits down either side, across most of the top, and of course do the bottom as well. The bottoms, these are little white bits that I might mask. That would probably be better to mask those. Yeah, so I need to cut some masking out, basically in that shape, which again is quite nicely displayed above here as a panel line, so I can get that done quite easily. Well, easily, he says. Right, I need to put a visor on and getting close to do that, which means I can't do it on camera, but I'll come back and show you what I've achieved before I start painting it when it's all primed up. Obviously I need to do the ring as well, which the picture is obviously not very helpful because it's only an outside view, so I'll be using the stickers and the artwork on that one to give an idea as to which panels I need to be what colour. There doesn't seem to be very much white left on this, so most of it's going to be not masked, which is convenient. Right, so see you in a moment when I've got the priming done. Right, I've completed the priming. I've taken a couple of bits off to make it a little bit easier on the ring. Quite happy with that. I've got the central bit, the edges and the bits on the bottom all masked out. The ring, strange, the stickers don't line up on the box, which I've moved out of the way. The stickers and the picture don't line up, and I can't get any decent images from anywhere else, so I've done my own thing. I've left some mainly going to be white on the central piece, and mainly red on the rest of it, so I've blocked off a couple of, just about say in white balance, blocked off some bits that are obviously going to remain white, and the rest of it I'm going to paint. Now the paint I've mixed up is not quite as burgundy and red as the sticker sheet or the pictures, but again I'm doing my own thing, so we'll see how it looks when it dries once I've sprayed it on. I've mixed up a few different colours in there, mainly purples and reds, and come up with a colour that I'm quite happy with. So I'm going to put that in the airbrush. I've thinned it down with X20 as well. Put that in the airbrush, paint all of these bits, and then we'll see how it looks when it dries. Then I need to remove some of the masking and remask some other bits to do the darker patches, and then some other highlights and painting. Right, so I'll get that painted and see what it looks like afterwards. Alright, quick update, I just finished painting. The colour is quite nice actually. It's not quite as red as the box art, but it's not far off of it. The stickers themselves say are even more sort of red, but I'm happy with it. It's nice, quite good. I've kept a lot of the paint. I mixed up a bigger pot than, can't see where it actually comes to, but I've got some of that left, which I'll be using probably when this is all dry. I'll make sure I haven't missed anything, but assuming that's good, I'll try and darken that down a bit for the highlighting, or the shading really, on a couple of the panels are darker. If that doesn't work, then I'll mix up another batch of something different, but Yeah, I'm happy with how that's come out. I think I've covered it all pretty well. Won't know for sure obviously until I take the masking tape off, but I'll leave that on for now for it to dry properly, and then so I need to leave some of it on anyway for doing some of the other bit. So see in a moment when it's next step. Well, that's the second bit of masking done. I need to leave a small channel down the front here for where the guns are, and the bits at the back along the edges of each wing. Underneath there's again the little channel on the edge, a couple of patches on each wing, and a couple of panels on the back there as well. So that's that done. I'm just going to go with the hull red on that, which I think will be quite a nice contrast to the mixed up colour without being too obvious. Right, so that'll be that. Once I've done that, I do need to do the yellow and the black for the canopy. There isn't going to be any of the hull red on the rest of the ring, or the other bits of the ring, so I'll move those out the way. I'll get the masking off of those in a minute. There is some yellow to go onto those, which I obviously forgot to do before, so I'll have to do just a plain bright yellow. Hopefully it will go well over the top of this, but we'll see. If I need to do some white and then yellow over the top, then I'll worry about that when the time comes. But this is just to show you the masking in place over this. I've left the masking on over the white obviously as well, because I don't need any of that showing through. I'll get that done and then we'll see how it looks when I get that masking off. Right, let's let the paint dry. Let's get the masking off and see just how bad it's turned out. The trouble is I use so many bits of tiny little masking paper on this that getting it off is going to be so much fun. Peeling it off is always a pleasant experience anyway. It's finding an edge and then just unwrapping and seeing how much comes off. Right, under here there should be light bit, the lighter sort of purple colour and some white, and obviously bits that I'm going to have missed. I'm sure some of that should have to be, perhaps this bottom run across here should be the lighter colour as well, probably. Times like this that I'm thankful that I didn't get rid of the paint that I mixed up, so I can brush paint some details in. Right, there's some contrast between the light and the dark there that's come in quite well, and there's some white bits. A lot of this is designed by me because I couldn't tell exactly what the stickers were going to look like, and as I say, the stickers and the box art didn't agree 100% of the time, so based on whatever design they came up with, but the end result is pretty much mine. I'm going to get rid of some of this because I didn't realise there were quite so many little bits. Ugh. Just think how horrible that would be if it was really sticky instead of just masking tape sticky. Alright, there's another bit there. And dropping it, great. The trouble with trying to do things on camera and so I can see them as well. There we go, let's get to the big bits off. Now we're getting to it. Nice sharp edges on those, happy with them. So maybe that bottom bit should say white, because the surround bit of it is white as well. Once it's all off, I'll be able to investigate properly and see if I want to make any changes or additions. So I still need to do the yellow, a few of the yellow highlights on it. Obviously with metal tweezers here, trying to just pick away the tape without scratching the paint underneath. One of the reasons I left it to dry long enough. I think there's more, there should be white bits around there, so I think there's other tape on there that I still need to dig into. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Obviously still need to do some brush painting on the droid itself. I think the engines, there they go, they're white as well. That, unless there's any that I've missed, ignoring all the bits that are still stuck to my fingers, that's pretty much that. I see a couple of bits of overspray. Again, I'm not sure how well the colour difference is coming out on the camera here. Let's try zooming in a little bit so you can see. Yeah, there you go. The little bit of the darker has escaped onto the white there, so I need to touch that up as well. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with that. Once it's been weathered a bit, obviously the canopy needs to be black, and the yellow details put in wherever I feel like putting them, again based on the picture but not exactly. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I'll get the rest of the masking off the ring as well and get that back assembled. Let's put that back on there, out of the way. Yeah, so I'll get the rest of that done, get that back assembled, and then be ready to do some more masking for the yellow bits. Okay, that's all the masking taken off the ring. Again, I'm happy with the way that's come out. So mainly white on the middle section, with a few white highlights on the outside ring. Yeah, not bad at all. Once that docks in there, basically like that, it goes inside. I'm not going to jam it in because that's going to probably scratch off the paint until it's actually been set. That's obviously the other rocket booster thing there. Yeah, so that was that. Now I left that, while I was unwrapping this one I could still feel it being slightly tacky, although it's been yeah, good 12 hours more since I've done that, so I'm going to leave that unmasked for a while longer to make sure that's properly dry. Yeah, a couple of bits to touch up in white on this, which I'll do now, and then leave that to dry, and then get ready to mask it again for the yellow. Right, see you in a moment. Well, I've decided to just put a bit of yellow on the back edge of the hyperdrive ring, and a couple of highlights on the sides there as well, and a little bit on the back, a little if I can knock white out, a little triangle and a couple of dashes on the nose. Right, as soon as they're all over white, then I can just go ahead and use medium yellow. I'll get that sprayed up and then get the masking off for the final time. Then that will be time to give it a gloss coat, and then some put a couple of bits of stickers on, and then some weathering. Right, I'll probably film some stickers in a moment, but I'll get the paint done off camera. So it's all coming together and getting there. And that's the masking off. Very happy with the way the Starfighter came out. It's very bold, but once it's weathered down a little bit, that'll be fine. A couple of areas that had a little bit of leakage over, but as I've still got some of the paint mixed up, that's not a problem. The ring fared mostly better, but a little worse. There's one side had some leakage again, so once more, a little bit of touching up to do on there. A little bit on the white in there as well. I don't know if that's coming out on the camera, but so I do need to do a little bit of touching up on a couple of bits there before I do anything else, so I'll get that done. And then we'll see. I think the little bit of stickers that I need to do is going to be the next thing. So I'm going to put the bit around the bottom of the droid and cut out the symbol from one of the wings. The rest of it I'll leave as is, I think. I'm happy with the way it's come out, so I'll be leaving my sort of custom paint job. Right, so a little bit of touching up, get the stickers on, and then ready for some weathering after a gloss coat or a matte coat. Not sure which yet, I'll decide. Well, I tried to video cutting out and sticking on these stickers, but they're just too small. I needed to get too close to it to be able to show you what I was doing. So, there we go, that's the video of them on. The edges are still a little bit noticeable, but that's purely because of the size. From a normal viewing distance, it's perfectly okay, and once I get the gloss coat on, that will obviously improve the finish of it anyway. So next up is getting the gloss coat on. I'm going to put the booster back on and find another way of holding it, probably from where the ship's going to fit underneath here, so it's all one piece or two pieces ready to go. Right, so see you in a moment. And that's the gloss coat done. Still very happy, it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to put it together now, because I'm going to have it together for display anyway. Now, what I didn't think about while I was making it was exactly where this is going to fit and how much of what I've just done is going to get covered up. So it looks like it's going to go on about there, so I'm going to lose the triangle and one of those lines, but oh well. Right, so that should just push in. Don't know how easy it's going to come apart again without scratching off the paint, so we'll try. That's it in. Let's try taking it out again just to see if it's going to be doable. It's quite tight. Actually, yeah, that's fine. It's not actually done any noticeable damage to any of the paintwork on there that I can see. So I'll put it in and leave it on for the weathering, but safe in the knowledge that it can come apart if I need it to or want it to again. Right, now the weathering. I'll be doing a not so much a gunk wash, but probably just the Starship wash again, purely because it's quite quick and easy, and it does just blend everything down a little bit and make it all look a little bit nicer. So yeah, that's the next step, basically giving it a wash over with that. So let's get a fairly good sized brush. A good size for this is give a shake up to the wash. Being a wash, it's got lots of loose bits of pigment and stuff that sort of sit in the bottom of it. I'm not going to need the visor on. Right, let's get that to there. Apart from a final matte coat, I'm not going to be doing any more spraying, but I've left the spray booth up purely because it's easier than putting it away again. Right, the wash. Not really going to go too heavy with it. Just a light covering pretty much all of it, and then I'll be removing most of it. Right, that's that. And then let's get that bit done, and then with some odorless thinners, letting that soak in. Again, sorry, I can't tell what I can see on camera until I'm there. Right, that should do it. Yeah, odorless thinners just to remove most of it. Holding it this way and brushing backwards because of direction of travel, pretty much how I would imagine that any grime and everything would be swept backwards rather than downwards too much. Right, so you can see the white in the body there against the white down there, and again underneath the same, so it just darkens everything down, makes it look a little bit more real and used. Now in the Star Wars universe, everything is used and grimy and grotty and horrible, although in the prequels they're not quite so used as they are in the original trilogy. And of course doing this inside means if I do want to remove it, it's going to be noticeably different, the bit underneath, so I'm now rethinking whether to take it back apart again, and I think that is probably going to be the way I'm going to go. So I'll get this washed off. Then I will be taking it apart. So let's pop that out now. It's just going to build up in there anyway, so let's do this separately again. Now where it's all gathering at the bottom there, I'm just going to use a bit of tissue to pull it off from the bottom, and then do the underside, same again, give it a covering and then wash most of it away. Obviously around the engines is going to be darker and dirtier anyway, so when I get in there I will be leaving that a bit darker. Sorry, still trying to see if I can remember to hold it where you can see it and still get some work done. Yeah, quite happy with that. Again, let's just get rid of some of that from the back, and I'll leave that laying that way. Right, let's get that back on there again. Again, the intakes of these are going to be a bit grumpier than the rest. Thing about a wash is that it does gather into the grooves, which is exactly what you want it to do. That's not what I wanted to do though. when it does gather into the grooves, when you're wiping and washing away the rest of it, you're obviously leaving the bits inside, which are the bits that would have stayed dirtier in the real world. Right, I need to go and do the rings of this, and then once it's dry, see if it needs another coat or not, or just some touching up in a couple of places. And then I need to go back in with some of the detail work. Again, some of the engines that are going to need some darkening and weathering. Perhaps a little bit of Starship filth and that sort of stuff in there. That's nice, just to darken this up a bit. Right, I'll carry on with this. Obviously you don't need to watch absolutely everything. I'm sure most of you already skipped through to the interesting bits anyway. So I'll get this done a bit more and then come back and show you the next bit. I'm quite happy with the way that's sturdied up. I've added some Starship wash, metal slag, and streaking, Starship streaking, to a couple of little bits, mainly around the engines and underneath there, just to darken up the used areas inside the engines themselves. Basically anywhere where I thought things might gather, that a little bit of streaking on some of the panels, and the same on the ring. Mainly dirtied up inside the engines, and obviously did the wash over the whole thing. Left it a bit patchy. It's still a bit wet at the moment, so I just need to leave that to dry. Then that'll be pretty much that. I'll give it all a matte coat, then put it together. Actually, I'm going to have it displayed together, so I'm going to put it together once it's dry and then give it a matte coat together. And then that will be complete. I'll get that finished, get it on the turntable and give you a final view. That's the completed Starfighter. All in all, quite a pleasant build. As all these Bandai kits are, there's a lot of detail in there. But it all comes out. So just as shame that they put stickers in so you can't actually see it all if you use the bits that they include in the box. But without the stickers and painted up, it's looking pretty good. Obviously a very small scale, so you're not going to get too much, or at least I'm not. But all in all, I'm more than happy with that. I'll put the booster pack on it and show you that in a moment as well, but yeah, I quite like it. There you go, completed. The hyperdrive bit, the ring, is quite nice as well, a little bit dirtier, it's fine. I hope you enjoyed watching the build. I hope you go out and pick yourself up a kit. So they're very cheap, these little kits, but you can have a lot of fun with them. Even if you want to do your own paint scheme or stick to the stickers, it looks fine. Thanks for watching. I hope you come back and subscribe to the channel and watch all the other things that I've been building and will continue to build. Thanks for watching.